Morning, people. This is Lee Craft, the host of The What Is podcast. Today's show is for my youth. You're working harder not to work. You know, when I go to work, sometimes I see the young people like that. They come to work late. They come to work later. They come to work late as they possibly can, and expect to get everything that the ones who early and on time get. You know, and I've often said they're working harder to avoid work. Look, all I can do is try to coach them up for the company that coaches them out, if you know what I mean. But before we get started, if you have any comments or concerns, please email me at leecraftwhatif@gmail.com or go to Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, or Instagram. Look for the animated black man with white beard, smiling and profiling, and finally realize they trying to size me up. Look, good people, we have the heart that I have for us caring about people and trying to see help them navigate through those waters and everything for trying to be successful, especially when they have families, to stop doing stupid things. It's hard. It's very hard because why? They're in their own way. People, they don't want change, especially when they think they're getting paid for nothing. Then once they get fired and they're getting less than nothing for a while and stuff, then it's, man, I had opportunity, I had benefits, I had all this thing going. What was I thinking? You wasn't thinking. You was in your own way. See, as a seasoned man, as a seasoned worker, as a seasoned whatever you want to call it, our job is to get the youth through, and some of the older people through also, because there's look, I don't know how to say it. It's one thing to be young and doing stupid things, but to get old and still continue to do stupid things, I don't know what to say. Because life, you got people depending on you and everything. You want to keep on continue to do the same old thing. If you are who you say you are and you want things out of life for you as well as your family, you're gonna start doing things the right way. You know, ain't that what Jesus would do? You want somebody to give you something and you do nothing all day. Somebody throw work at you, you doing right. You playing dodgeball for his work and everything. That's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to try to get into place, learn how to do certain things, and try to find you a spot. Keep on rising. You know what I'm saying? Try to, if you're a regular worker, try to be a lead, try to be supervisor, and try to be a manager, try to run the whole facility. I've seen it done. Hell, I even done it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. What's your motivation? I told my coworkers the other day, my motivation is my family. They depend on me. I don't care if I'm making $5 an hour. I'm gonna give you probably about $25 an hour worth of work. That's my mindset, because I know one day I'm gonna be in that role. Learn that I can learn and be the best I can possibly be and have the success. And try to guide the ones below me. Say, hey, you can obtain this too. But they don't see that because why? People in their ears. Hey, why you working so hard? You should say, hey, why you not? I'm just saying, but be mindful. No matter what you're going through, I can guarantee you one thing, that is going to be okay as long as you make God a part of your life. That's the what if guarantee. What if? What if you add God to your diet and quit doing those stupid things? Working hard to avoid work. You see somebody coming, you ducking and diving. But one thing about it, when they pull their report out and go over your numbers, they gonna say what you've been doing all day, which is nothing. And when they get tired of you, and when God removes his hand of favor off of you, then you can find yourself in no man's land. You gonna ask yourself, how did I get here? And self gonna say, you know how you got here. By doing those things that get you in the places where you are. That man was telling you all the time, do what you can do to grow. You telling him to get out of my face. I ain't got time for that. That's what the youth does. But this is the key, people. If you see somebody that has untapped potential, try to help them. But don't spend a lifetime trying to help them. Sometimes you just gotta move on. Move them out the way and go for the next candidate. They say, you wrong, you hard. Am I wrong for helping somebody, trying to help somebody that don't want the help? Am I wrong for staying there too long? Yeah, I'm wrong for doing all those things. Because, see, people got a tendency to tell you when you're wrong, when you give up on them. But they fail to realize one thing. You didn't give up on them. They never started for themselves. I want to say they gave up on themselves, but I can't say it because they never started for themselves. Nobody gave up on you. You gotta want something. If you don't want something, I can't make you want anything that you just feel you don't deserve. You want to be high, you want to make money, but you don't want to work for the money. You don't want to do anything for the money. You don't want to get a paycheck. That's all you want. So, look, all I'm saying to people is this right here. If you have any youth or somebody that you feel that has that potential that you can probably get to them like that fire in them, just let them see what you see, go for it. But don't waste your time dealing with that. A friend of mine who's a school teacher, educator, and I felt the same way about No Child Left Behind. She said, Brother Kraft, I'm going to tell you something, Kraft. She said, no, that's a double negative. If you got a child that don't want to learn, they want to be disrupted in the classroom, push them to the side. That's what she said. And I tell them, whenever you're ready to join, the class will still be here. And I had to let it marinate for a minute. I said, you know what? You're right. So you're right. So like I said to people, we have it in us to want to help everybody, but we can't save everybody. So do what we can. Can't do it, then move on. Let the chip fall where they may, because that's not your responsibility, even though it is your responsibility because you did what you had to do, but it didn't pan out the way you thought it should pan out because they didn't want it. Yeah, confused myself. So, like I said, that's my show for this morning. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you didn't, like children always say, Daddy, you're not a good storyteller. I tell my children, what comes from the heart reaches the heart. So, with that being said, Lee Kraft, this is my podcast. But if you have any comments or concerns, please email me at leecraftwhatif@gmail.com. One band, one sound. Together, we got an opportunity to turn this whole world around. But in order to have a real conversation, you got to have real people if you want to have that real conversation. Have a blessed day. And please find time and make time to tell God, thank you.